We still don't know exactly what was going through Donald Trump's mind when he decided to steal literally hundreds of secret and classified documents, but we do know one of the things he apparently planned at one point to do with them. Now, I have always been a critic, a skeptic, I would say, of the idea that he planned to sell these documents to another country, secret nuclear documents or something like that. That just seems too James Bond to me. But it turns out that he did want to do something kind of similar. He apparently late last year floated the idea of swapping the files that he had stolen in exchange for, quote, sensitive documents about the FBI investigation of his 2016 campaign's ties to Russia. Now, this is probably on its face a less terrifying plan, to want to get some documents for these rather than giving like nuclear secrets to Russia. But while it's less dangerous, let's also acknowledge that it is way dumber. The idea that he stole all of this secret stuff and what he wanted to do with it was get stupid, dumb documents about the 2016 Russia thing so he could continue to relitigate that until he finally croaks. That is just as dumb as this scandal finally had to become. Here's more details. As the National Archives pressed Trump to return the scores of official documents that were being stored at his Mar-a-Lago state in South Florida and not in their possession, the former president was frustrated by the government agency's refusal to disclose documents that he felt would back up his claims about Russia. Trump told advisors that in order to obtain access to those documents, he would give the archives the boxes of materials that were stored at Mar-a-Lago. Importantly, aides did not go through with the proposal, but it was one of many ways in which the former president repeatedly delayed calls by the archives to turn over the documents located at his personal residence. So why exactly the National Archives, in their duty to get the documents, would bargain for other documents? I don't know. Why he didn't just steal those other documents when he was the president? I don't know, Dan. What the hell is going on?
Well, I remember from the massive brain rot of covering the Trump administration daily that at certain point he was under impeachment investigations, and a major line from both like the Trump campaign and every right winger was no quid pro quo. You cannot prove a quid pro quo of any kind. No quid, neither a quid nor a quo, neither quid nor quo, no quid pro quo. What that essentially means, to de-Latin it, is, are you intending to trade something to get something else? So you're saying, John, in defense, the idea that he's trying to sell nuclear documents is a little bit insane. It was like that, I remember that BuzzFeed article that broke right before Trump's original inauguration that was like, oh, there's a P tape and there's a secret Moscow, all this. It was too good to be true, right? There's sometimes where you get those stories like that, but yeah. I don't know, maybe he's not selling it, but let's break into the legal terms here. He's exchanging it. He's offering one non-monetary thing for another of value. It's exactly what quid pro quo is. And so basically the same thing is about Trump overall. Of course he's guilty, he's obviously guilty. He does his crimes on camera. It means nothing because we won't keep him accountable until hopefully we do, but it's not seeming like it.
I'm so glad that you made that point because that is 100%. I mean, we could also throw in that he's kind of trying to get NARA to collude with him on his stolen documents. So no collusion, no quid pro quo. And yet it turns out at the end of the day that when it comes to quid and comes to quo, he is a pro. So anyway, Donald Trump, why are you such a clown? You could have taken the documents then, buddy. God, it's like somebody who's desperate to have robbed their job before they got fired. Like, you can't come back 6 months later just because you come up with the idea now. You have to do it then, idiot. Anyway, thankfully they didn't do it. Or I should say, not that they didn't do it, because that was never gonna happen. He didn't propose it, which would have been hilarious. The National Archives were never going to do that. But importantly, and my final point on this part of the story is, he cannot claim to have not understood the crimes he was committing when he's plotting how much value he can get out of what he stole.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.